All right, wait for everything to catch up. All right. I forgot that I adjusted the microphone for my mobile microphone, so this was all way too high. So, one thing you should realize is that they are reacting to something. So you don't have to condone the activity, but you should try to understand if you can. And President Trump does understand because he did have a bunch of people released early from prison in several types of cases that where he could. So we should look and try to understand what's going on. When we look to the scriptures, we understand that possession exists. And I spend a lot of time during the day repelling possession from myself and others. I'm a prime target of devils, demons, antichrists, witches, and sorcerers. They're drawn to do this to me. I'm a big threat to Satan's possession of the world. And more so the possession of the beings, because the world is temporal and doesn't really matter. So they're dealing with being possessed and willed down, and God is moving them to say something. And it may not mean anything to you, or it might mean something, and even if it means something, it might not have anything to do with you. But if you're in a pew, there's somebody in the pew possibly that's involved in that. Maybe even the preacher. Saying bad things about black people, about other people, and using their spiritual projection, their heart, projecting evil with their heart on another person, evil-eyeing them, and using some of the choice words that the others are using. They use it in their mind. I've told you before, people that speak out nicely might be in their mind, speaking all sorts of horrible things. Again, they look like angels of light. So again, it would be really great if we could somehow reach out to them and say, hey, we want you back here. What you're doing is you're pushing them further out. Again, you're assisting with that fallenness. And I've done things myself. I'm not perfect either. But when we have a thought from heaven, we're to speak about it. But again, the best way to handle it would be, how could I get those people back somewhere? So the church itself is working with the deep state at times. And that causes that friction, because then they see the church as that thing that hates them, that causes them to fall. They may not realize that, but they have that grieve spirit feeling. You say, well, I personally like to sin. I don't care. But what do you think's happening? That's the demon that was projected into them to possess them speaking. Like there's one here right now trying to make me say something. I'm sure there's a government employee behind it. So again, I haven't been injured this way in such a long time. I forgot to take ibuprofen and ice it. But one day I was well. I'm like, why was I well that day? And then now I'm all messed up again. And then I remembered that I had iced it that day. So that in combination with the magnesium bath worked well. So again, if I were to get massages, this would probably heal a lot quicker. And I began by stretching it, but it irritated everything too much. So it's probably the mold. The allergens are down today, and my postnasal drip is up. And that's probably a sign that the mold is here, and the mold is always here. I really enjoyed my little setup here as far as being safe from COVID-19, but not being safe from the mold is a trouble. I'll just have to trust in the Lord. I think I have figured out a vehicle and might have it delivered if it all works out. And I do have to get a lot of my stuff over to storage, and I have to give away a few items. And then it's always a joy when I move if I get to give something away. I'd rather keep it, but if I can give it away and the Lord says to give it away, I give it away. That's the way it works. Oh, maybe I could keep it. I'll see when I get the vehicle if I keep it, but I'm thinking I won't. So it's kind of going weird with the vehicle, though. I would have thought he would have gotten back to me with my financing by now. Not that my financing should be in any trouble. My Capital One loan was coming out well for interest rates, and that was good. And if this guy fails, I'll just go with Capital One and keep calling around until I can get one delivered. I went downtown and I just knew it wasn't going to work. It just wasn't going to work. So I already returned the rental truck and got to return it a day early, and I was able to walk back thanks to the ibuprofen. And then when I got back, I started icing it and things, and it worked much better. Actually, I think I started earlier too, a little bit. So hopefully I can get this thing, get the swelling down and everything returns to normal. What happens is when it gets swollen like that, it sometimes grabs a nerve and then irritates the nerve. So again, it seems to be a casual injury, but that injury could get worse because of mold. So I do have to move along. And I do feel Lubbock is calling. And I've been asked inside, however that works, and whoever it is, to remain in Texas and give it one more chance unless my health says I have to go somewhere else. That one church I looked at looked very interesting. I don't know if I'll be attending it. However, it appears that they might have a clue and a cue as to what's really going on. When I got injured, they were here in droves. They figured that was their opportunity to cause some sort of negative activity from me to another or from me to myself. So I read all that because I think I spoke on that recently. So I know what they're doing here to people. It's very evil. Very evil. I don't know if God will give Tyler, Texas another chance. And I don't relish having to travel to Lubbock. That's a day's drive. But, you know, just like going to the store, I'm not going to have too many interactions. I'm just going to walk to the, outside my car to the gas pump, gas it up and go. So I shouldn't have too much interaction. And then I guess I start my healing work in Lubbock. Somebody said, well, there's not that much in Lubbock. I said, well, I don't need much. All I need is a Walmart. But, sometimes people don't understand when they have a full life somewhere that there's nothing here in Tyler for me. I could be in the middle of Oklahoma City. There's nothing there for me because the deep state had destroyed it. Now, I want you to pray for my friend. I got no idea if the deep state's blocking her or she has somehow disappeared. Because we never had a full conversation last time that happened. And I believed, first we thought somebody blocked her. Now, she could have blocked me. That's very possible. But she doesn't understand sometimes, and everybody's like that. But he said to me, don't mind what I say. I'm just needling you or something. And I'm thinking, I never thought to tell her that, hey, you blocked me or something. I didn't want to confront it. I just wanted to let it go. But I wonder if she thought I blocked her. So I don't know. It's very strange. And even if she did do that, she could be triggered. Remember, these are psychological nutbags in the government trying to manipulate everyone. Boy, I need a massage, though. I'll tell you what, when I massage myself, it feels so good. Everything's kind of all messed up, and it caused an injury. I think it was while I was stretching. I don't think it was when I was backpacking. I think when I was stretching, I may have ripped. The tissue gets less flexible with the mold, and I think I may have caused micro tears, which causes it to get inflamed and swell and all of that. So I do feel better, and I forgot to take ibuprofen. I don't know. I just figured I would take the other stuff, the natural remedies, and hopefully that would work, but it didn't seem to work. Because it worked, but I started stretching, and when I started stretching, it irritated it. But I got all tight and everything, and I haven't had this problem in years, 8 years. So again, Lubbock has mold, but the place I'm moving in to would be more recently renovated. It doesn't have rugs on the floor, so on and so forth. It's hotter in Lubbock, and drier, less humid, so it shouldn't thrive as much. It's humid enough in Tyler to allow the mold to thrive in the walls and things like that. So I'd be someplace healthier if it wasn't for that deep state hit the first day I got there. Now, the deep state can hit, but if there's enough of God's people protecting the community, which I'm one of those, which I'm one of those? No. Which you're one of those. Trying to cause fear statement analysis to go against me. Unwitched. Now I'll read further into it. Forced me to look like a witch. So again, it's a little bit early to get massages, so I'm going to have to kind of work my way through this. I hope I heal. I was just a shock because I haven't had this kind of injury in 8 years, and it was worse before. I mean, it could get worse because this started real light and then got worse, but they told me to work out through it, and that was the wrong advice, and it got worse. So I know to rest because my neurology is not normal now. What happens is it can cause neuropathy because every one movement of your body is now being registered as like 100 movements. So it's irritating that muscle. So if you do like a regular workout, it's like you worked out for 5 hours. Then your muscles start fatiguing and tissues start tearing. So that's what I think happened. That's what the mold does to me. Does it to you too, I guess, sometimes. So I have to be here for a little bit longer. But I'm hoping to heal enough to be able to move everything that I need to take to storage and then put the rest in the vehicle and roll out of here to Lubbock, if that's where I'm going. And I say it sometimes, and that's just God tells me to say it, and then I go somewhere else. But for now, it looks like Lubbock, and it looks like they need work, a healer, and I'll have a vehicle. I'll be able to drive around the community with my mask on and heal it. I don't have to touch anyone. I don't have to even talk to anybody. I've healed in a daytime sometimes hundreds of people and never spoke to one of them. Hundreds. In Miami, I heal hundreds of people a day, easy. Well, praise God and all that you do.